right, welcome back to another episode. We are sitting down today with VJ Geronimo from Oris. You're going to talk about your watches and everything else you guys are doing, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Would you like some 1897 or some 1870? One's 90 proof, one's 100 proof.
We'll take the 1897, of course.
All right, my man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This was donated to us by Cheers SC, so thank you to Cheers SC.
Thank you. Cheers.
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 Guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about Oris, and you guys make Swiss-made watches.
We do. So Oris is a brand. We've been around since 1904. So 118-year-old company. We only make mechanical watches. So if you know much about watches, you know there's a lot that have batteries and they're quartz watches.
Right.
So we make watches in the style that have been traditional in Swiss watchmaking for many years. So
Cool.
we only do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's the one with the weight on the back?
Correct.
Is it called perpetual? Or
It's
is
like
it
the rotor, and it's an oscillating rotor,
Yeah.
and it
Yep.
basically charges it. So there's automatic watches, which basically will work by the motion of your hand, self-winding. They're also called. And then there's manual wind as well, which are also mechanical pieces. So we do both of those things. So
Interesting.
Well, we were looking at the ones, and I'm excited to get into this one. But the face style of this watch, I like a lot. The ones that have the numbers around it.
Yep.
I've never been a huge fan of those. Like the ones like a Rolex style watch, I've just never been. But I love how much glass there is around it, and it just makes it look kind of like magnified, I guess.
The crystal, it's a bubble sapphire. We'll talk about it, the bubble sapphire. So this is called, this one is brand new. This is called Cervo Volante. So Cervo Volante is a company in Switzerland. It was founded, and it's a sustainable deer leather company. So basically what they do is they take deer leather skins that are going to be thrown out, basically, the ones that have signs of life on them, whether how they died or how they kind of came about, and they take that leather and they make it into leather goods. So they've made shoes, they've made pouches. So we've actually partnered with them this year to make a watch strap and a watch bracelet. So what you see here is it comes in the sustainable pouch. So deer leather pouch, you can see.
So beautiful.
If you see it here, and it has the signs of life. So if there's something that's here, it's not a defect. It just is the way that it is.
I was looking at it earlier. That's really cool.
Signs of life. I like that term.
Yeah. And then the watch itself is, it comes also with another pouch. The watch itself, there's 3 different versions. This particular version is green with a green dial, if you see.
Yep.
So this one is our Big Crown Pointer date. So to your point, it has a bubble sapphire crystal that you see, sort of the raised crystal, but the complication on this is a date pointer. So many times you have a watch that has a date window, and a lot of it's not symmetrical though. So a lot of people like this complication just because of the way that it is.
That's what the longer hand is.
Yeah, that's what the longer hand with the red
cool.
with the red tip on it is. Actually, in this one, it's not red; it's green in this particular one. But yeah, that's a pointer date, and the dial is
Interesting.
It's a beautiful watch.
So, as a company, Oris, we try to do things that are sustainable. We try to do, we've done a lot with ocean conservation over the years. In this particular case, we're trying to do things that make sense. We're an independent brand. So if you know much about the watch industry, there's many companies, or a few big companies that own many of the watch brands you may have heard of or know. So we're not like that. We're one of the last independents still making product in the same factory we've made for 118 years. So it's a really cool, really
It's similar
cool.
to the sunglass factory. All the sunglass companies are pretty much
owned by one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how soft a deer hide gets. It's my favorite.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't think there's any way that I'm gonna be able to leave this place and not have that watch.
I was just turning in the back. She's gonna listen to this, and then I'm gonna be in trouble. But I'm just turning in the back of my head how I'm gonna spend this purchase with my wife.
It's gonna have to happen.
That's all right.
How many different models do you make currently?
We make a variety of different products. So we probably have about, I would say, 200 SKUs in our line.
Oh wow!
But so we make product from what we call aviation product. We make diving. We make a lot of diving product.
Oh, okay.
We make motorsport product, and we make culture or classic product. That's how our line is. But we really do a lot in the diving world, in the aviation world. So, and there's things that are contemporary, and then there are things that are
Sure.
vintage. So this is more of a vintage type look.
Right.
So yeah, we have, but we have also
Picture.
we have things that are much more contemporary. So like contemporary aviation. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Now, how long have were you always interested in watches? That's something you've always liked doing? How'd you get involved with a company like this?
yeah, it's I've been in it my whole career. I've been with Oris for 11 years.
Okay.
So working there. I've been in Watch World since I was in my early 20s, which was only 10 years ago. So I know you're probably like,
Yeah, sure.
it's a podcast. You really can't
That's
tell
what I would have
it.
guessed.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, but no, I've been in it. I got into it. I got into haphazardly, really.
Okay.
Someone I worked with at another company, my first job,
Okay.
went to work for something in the watch industry, and I've always been interested in watches, and as I've kind of been in it, I've gotten much more interested in it, obviously, and but it's a really cool thing to be in. It's a nice, it's good to spread the love and people to see.
Well, it's a great industry. You get to get your fingers in and experience a lot of different types of industries, because everything from a weekend like this, where this is probably very appealing to other communities that are into,
Yeah,
like
you
you were
can go
talking
to
about,
every event.
aviation
Yeah.
and underwater stuff. You could take these to a
To an air
military
show.
show or an air
Yeah.
show. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
no shortage of options of places to go and do things.
I'm very fortunate in what I do.
Yeah.
I think we get to have weekends like this and a
Absolutely.
place like this, and then do so many different things. So
Yeah.
it's great. So
That's cool. So do you buy them? Like, do you have a watch collection yourself, or you get to wear whatever's on the shelf?
I do have a watch collection myself. I've built it over the years.
Sure.
I have a number of Orises in my collection, so I really like that.
Of course.
I have a couple pieces that are very sentimental to me, like things I've worked on. Like we've made, big baseball fan, so we did a project last year with the Roberto. It was a Roberto Clemente limited edition.
Okay. Wow.
So got to work with the Clemente family and
Very
a
cool.
little bit of MLB stuff. So
Yeah.
that was fun. That was
That's
cool.
great. That's very cool.
And then my first Oris is certainly sentimental to me
For sure.
Sure.
and then have like a watch I got for my high school graduation or something like that. So yeah. How about you guys? Are you guys watch people?
I actually feel really gross wearing this watch right now talking to you.
Which
we
watch
have,
you were?
we have the same
similar
watch, but the Army gave me this watch when I was in, and it had a green band that you could only get from military issue. And so I got into watches kind of when I got out, and I joined that watch club.
Okay.
And they'd send you these, they're like guaranteed they'll be, so they send
Something
you these
special.
watches.
Yeah.
They're like, it's $100 a month or something. And it was like $5,000 watches if you go to their website, but then you can go on eBay and they were like $40. So it's like they price them high to make them look expensive, and then they wholesale them.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of those mistakenly.
Is that Watch Gang?
Watch Gang, yeah.
Watch Gang.
Yeah. And then when I got out of the Army, I got in with Hook and Gaff, and I bought a Hook and Gaff watch, SEWE actually, one year. But I was fishing, and if I hadn't been wearing that watch, I would have broke my wrist. 2 boats collided. We were out with some veteran charities.
Yeah.
And I was holding it, and a wave came, and it hit the watch, busted it, and the watch sank to the bottom of the ocean. And I put this watch on, and I haven't taken it off since.
Wow.
I wish I had a good watch collection, but I don't. I have a good whiskey collection.
I have a very yeah, right. I have a sort of a a functional approach to watches. Like I have this, which I wear every day, which is the same watch that he has. But then I have like a couple of dress watches, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's one of those things that I see and I'm like, that's really nice. I should buy one of those. And then I'm like,
There's no way I'm not buying this watch.
it's a nice watch.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I might just put it on now and be like, here,
Go ahead.
See how it
let me
fits.
see what it looks like. I'm a tattooed individual, so usually
That's
if I dress nice, people are usually like, what's this guy doing? You aren't supposed to wear nice things.
Yeah, it's a good looking piece, and watches are it's very personal, right? It's a story about where you were at a certain time, or
Yeah,
what that
absolutely.
means to you, or how are you involved in that, or how do you feel about something?
Sure.
You guys doing what you do, I'm sure, like sustainable deal leather and something like that is
Absolutely.
something that is certainly near and dear to you, right? So
Absolutely, sure.
yeah.
And that's the salesman in you. You knew which one to bring me.
He's done this before, Matt.
Yeah. It's like he's wearing a green
feel like-
vest.
I feel
It's
like
got
we were
finishes on it,
tricked.
It's got whitetails on it.
Not at all.
Deer leather and a green face. He's gonna like that.
I
one.
could bring you the pink one if you want that one.
I like try it out. I like that orange band that he's got. It reminds me of like the Breitling style. A friend of mine bought one of these, the Breitling or whatever, and I'm like, how much is that? And he told me, and I was like, okay, hard to pass. But this band, I love this band. We showed it.
No, that watch, and that watch, I know the original orange band that came on. That watch is very sentimental to the gentleman that just handed it to you.
Yeah.
It was something where it was something we did for the Coral Restoration Foundation down in Florida.
Okay.
It was a watch called the Staghorn, and we worked with the organization who basically
rebuilt the reef.
They rebuilt the reef down in Key Largo.
Yeah. Wow.
So we've done a couple projects with them, but
Cool.
it's really cool because it's like this work that they do that's really grassroots work. And a few years back, we went on a trip down there with a bunch of international press people to kind of just see what was happening.
Yeah.
And got to dive and really experience what was going
cool.
on. So it's like things like that really kind of lend to the sentimentality of something you have,
Sure.
or kind of understand what it is.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I mean, Swiss watches, it's not really anything anybody needs. Like to be perfectly
Right.
honest, right?
Sure.
It's just something that it's emotional and
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
that you would relate to, or something
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
so we like that sort of thing. But we're known for not being, again, it's all relative in terms of price point, but we're known for being being a really good watch for the money.
Yeah.
You get a lot of value for what it is. We're not about celebrity. We're not about bling. It's more about just here's a really good product. For
Here's
the
a good
money.
product. Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's perfect.
So
That's really cool. I didn't realize that's how they did it. I thought they sunk ships, but they're actually rebuilding coral.
yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can send me that, I'll throw it up on the.
That's fascinating.
So they grow it on PVC trees. They make these PVC trees, and then as the coral, they start with a little piece this big, and then over like 9 months, it will grow, and it gets to the bottom, and it's really big. They harvest it, and then they have this technique, which has become the technique worldwide for coral
That's really
restoration, where they basically they sew it back into the coral. So it's a cool thing, and it's really
What a cool project to do.
Yeah.
To take part in that. That's really,
Yeah.
especially when you understand, the importance that coral reefs play in the ecosystem, and having a part in that. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's good that you guys. There's a lot of we get hit up with from a lot of charities, and there's a lot of people that want to speak about stuff. And the coral one has got to be one of the saddest ones. When you see the ones that have died off the coast of South America,
Yep.
it's like.
Well, it's particularly depressing when they show you like the before. You see a before pic when it was healthy and all the wildlife that lived
Very
amongst
much.
it and in it, and then when it's gone,
Looks like
and
a
it's just
nuclear bomb
It's
went
just
off.
desolate, and it's
Yeah.
like you. I never would have thought, maybe with the exception of going as deep as you can possibly go, that you could look at something that was so vibrant underwater and it just looks so dead. It's sad.
No, exactly that. You see like the before and after from like the 1970s. They have a picture of, down in Key Largo, they have a picture of the reef, and then you look beyond it and it's like exactly that, but it's coral bleaching, and it's things like bleaching from, runoff from the mainland kind of thing. It's also like simple things like sunscreen that you wouldn't think would do it. So they make like reef safe sunscreen and different things now.
Well, they had soap for boats as well. People would clean the inside of their boat before they get to the dock and just spray it off, and then all those suds go into the water, and it's like it ends up going places and doing damage.
Yeah, it shouldn't do. But it's responsible for a lot of life there.
Oh.
So
how did you? So you guys got involved with that, and then you made a watch for it.
Correct.
And it was like an auction deal, or it was like proceeds went to.
Yeah. So we basically we first got involved with the Coral Restoration Foundation. We had done we did a program with Scuba Diving Magazine called Sea Heroes.
Okay.
So basically every month we honored someone who did something good for the marine conservation world, and they got a watch. Each one got a watch, and then at the end of the year we picked someone who was the Sea Hero of the Year.
Okay.
And we gave them a monetary grant to do their work. So this went on from like 2011 onward. In 2014, the gentleman who actually started the Coral Restoration Foundation was one of our Sea Heroes.
Okay.
And then 3 years later, we did a watch project with them. So what we did was, yes, we created a watch. There was some monetary donation to them, but then we also donated some product to them, and they have a charity gala every year, and they basically raise money using, so we auctioned off like the first of the watches, like number 1 of 2000, like that sort of thing.
So are these numbered?
They are.
That's cool.
That particular one that's a different one. The numbered one that that gentleman over there had. I won't give him a hard time about it, but he lost
ended
it
up somewhere. You lost it?
Yeah, the shipping company lost it.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's unfortunate.
Someone's got a nice
sentimental.
watch that they don't have any idea
of the value
of it.
Yeah, or they do, and that's why it's missing.
Yeah,
Maybe so. Yeah.
So it's no, but it's things like that we do as a company that really set us apart. I think from most watch companies and most things.
That's really
and
cool.
especially now, like everybody's saving a turtle or doing this side of thing. We've been doing this a very long time. It's not something we just all of a sudden picked up and said we should do.
Right.
We've been doing it for like 15 years. We've been doing these kind of projects. So it's
awesome.
Good. Yeah.
We do a lot with a lot of different types of charity work, and one thing we've come to realize is how disgusting a lot of it is. A lot of these people take in a ton of money, and none of it goes to the cause. It all goes to payroll, and it's nice finding a company that's not like, we're not a 501c3, so the money that we donate to charity, we're hoping that it is spent well.
It's spent well.
And so it's nice to meet have another business that we know that is doing the same thing. It's, I hope this money goes where it's supposed to go, and we take time to vet and make sure that it is.
Yeah. And we like to do it with smaller organizations, right?
Yeah.
Much that, so we really have these, I'll say grassroots organizations that we pick and we do it with, because exactly that, like, you're making a difference. And for us, we're a global watch brand, so one of the biggest things we bring to the table too is our voice, right? Is telling the story globally about this. And I think the CRF thing was a great example of that, where you bring in international people, and all of a sudden this little organization that's small gets to grow and tell their story and things like that. So it's really rewarding to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I bet so.
Well, if you ever want to work with a veteran charity, we know some great ones.
Yep.
Like some military watches.
Yeah. So happy to.
Well, tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah. So we're here at SEWE. We have our Airstream is here.
Yeah, go check that out. Cool.
Check it out. It's our mobile showroom. We're online at oris.ch is our Swiss company, so it's oris.ch.
Cool.
And then Instagram, Oris, Facebook, all those things.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Check us out.
Yeah,
Oris,
we'll throw all of that on here as well.
ORIS for those of you that are listening.
Yes.
Thanks for stopping by and showing us these cool products. We're gonna come check out the showroom.
We're gonna come
this afternoon
right now. Actually,
Thank you, gentlemen.
We got a little break. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
good.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me. Cheers. All right. Nice to see you. Thank you for your service.
Likewise.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Living in a